This is the moment on Fridays that we so often look forward to. It is
the open.
It is the segment curated by Albert, and he's told us, just to warn you ahead of time, John.
Oh, I was listening. It's dark.
It's dark.
Albert, thank you.
Yeah. This is Friday Fabulous Florida.
It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
A Florida pest control worker is arrested, facing several charges. He is arrested for, if you guessed, exposing himself to customers while providing estimates for pest control services. Give yourself...
Yes, I'm really unhappy with everything I've heard today on your show.
I get it.
Yeah.
It is not a happy story, but it does happen. Guys sometimes can't help but whip it out.
No.
And
So
this
does
is
the
what
price
happened
go down when he takes the clothes off, or do people pay him to put the clothes back on?
Actually, the way it worked in this particular instance, John, and thank you for the question about detail, is that Tyler Mountain, as he is named, and there he is, and he actually is a very attractive man, shown here wearing a fake beard and wig.
Yeah, he's a man of the mountain.
He
A
does.
brawny man.
I think that's really his beard and really his wig, but it does look fake.
That's not fake.
That's not fake. That's real. Where's my?
That's not fake.
Thank you.
That's real.
Detectives say they began this investigation after a 76-year-old woman reported that an employee of Massey Services, again, it's a pest control service, exposed himself to her while he was in her Davenport home, Davenport, Florida, to provide an estimate for pest control services. According to cops, she said that he stepped out of her bathroom with his penis exposed, which is...
My bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, was that a failure to zip up? Or
Well, it's interesting you say that, because that is his defense.
What?
Yes. According to the arrest report, he said that he got his zipper caught, and the zipper was broken somehow, and it's for that reason that his unmentionables were extended out
was
of
wrong,
the...
it was stupid, and I'm trying to be a better person.
You know, he was just spraying around the baseboards.
That... The man used his position to gain access to people's homes and then sexually exposed himself. The behavior is disgusting and predatory, according to Grady Judd, who was the sheriff on this one.
There's a reason that this place is fun.
That's right. Grady said, "We believe it's possible that more victims of this man could be out there, and if that's the case, we want them to come forward."
What he's got going here is a situation.
He is being charged with lewd exhibition to an elderly person, and he is behind bars.
What's a guilty pleasure you have?
Behind bars. Okay. Meantime, on the other side of Florida, a guy is pulled over with a live alligator hidden in the trunk.
What?
Deputies came across an unusual situation. Got going here is a situation.
What he's got going here is a situation.
A Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission officer called to a traffic stop after deputies reported that this vehicle had an alligator inside. God, they really just abuse these alligators
That
now.
looks like a pretty big one, too.
Actually, they said it's a small alligator. Maybe that shot doesn't give you some kind of perspective on it. But
Right.
David Godfrey is the driver, and he told the officer that he caught the small gator on a paved road as it was crossing the road. The road was near the county jail. How convenient. And he was scared that the alligator would get run over by a vehicle. Oh, that's sweet.
So you pick it up and put it in your trunk?
Yeah, right.
No.
He planned to take the animal to a private pond and release it, he said. The 3-foot gator was being stored in a burlap sack in the trunk of the SUV. And he said, the driver did, that he knew in Florida that he's not allowed to legally possess the gator, and he understands the regulations there. He was charged, though, unlawful possession of a gator, and he got a notice to appear in Dixie County Court.
Yeah, you don't want that in your Coachella coffee.
Ain't it true? Caught on camera. A Florida man walks out of Publix with 12 bottles of wine. Wow,
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol involved.
Well, there is 12 bottles of it. On November 24th and 26th. If it works once, you go back and try to make it work again. The dude entered a Publix located at Fiddlesticks Boulevard in Fort Myers, which, by the way, does feel as though it's where some imaginary character would live in some Christmas story. Am I right, everybody? Like at Fiddlesticks Boulevard?
We've run out of names for streets. Oh, Fiddlesticks.
I mean, it literally is called Fiddlesticks Boulevard, and if you're looking for it, it's in Fort Myers, Florida.
Right by Gingerbread House.
Here is our Gingerbread Lane.
Nothing ever goes right on Fiddlestick Street.
Is the video of the man robbing, I believe, the store of the wine. Is that what we're seeing here, Albert? Yeah.
No, this is just surveillance footage. But this story is so short. But the only reason why I put this in here was for the Fiddlesticks. So I'm glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, very strong. I'm very happy
right
with
at the
it.
camera.
Yeah. Well, a Florida woman has stabbed her boyfriend and stabbed him in the eye.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not all. She stabbed him in the eye with a rabies needle.
Oh, jeez.
And she stabbed him in the, you're wondering why. I mean, that's a pretty brutal thing. He was looking at other women.
Oh. Justified then.
Justified.
Yeah.
What? Justified.
Girl, you just... Woo.
Now I understand. All right.
Sandra Jimenez, she's 44 years old, was in an argument with her boyfriend about him looking at other women. He told Miami cops that when the two arrived back at their house, boyfriend told the cops that he laid down on the couch and she pounced on him with 2 rabies needles that they had for their dogs. Pierced in one eyelid and transported to a local hospital for care. She fled the scene immediately after the attack. Oh, she fled the scene.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Well, somebody fled it, Larry. I can tell you that she's fled the scene.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Yeah. She's pled not guilty.
What can you tell us about the scene?
She's fled it. I said it twice.
She has the look on her face of someone who's not sorry.
Yeah, she looks like a tough lady. Mm-hmm. Court records show that she's pleading not guilty to the felony charge, to your point, Kim. Also aggravated battery, and she's being held on house arrest. That's the best kind of arrest. Didn't you agree, everybody? Yeah, house arrest. That's what you want. If you're going to be arrested, go for the house arrest. Yeah. Florida woman.
Stab somebody?
Arrested. No stabbing. It was theft. 3rd-degree grand theft. I think the interesting thing about this, and it's a pairing that Albert has done in his curation of Friday Fabulous Florida, of Walmart thefts. A Florida woman has attempted to eat counterfeit cash after she was busted for trying to sneak out of Walmart with more than $800 worth of items. Yeah.
She tried to eat the money?
That's right. Zipporah Abraham is her name. She's 38. There she is, not looking like it was her best day to be photographed. She was charged with 3rd-degree grand theft and uttering, they call it uttering forged bills. I don't know why it's called uttering, but all right.
She's trying to get them to her udders.
Yeah, maybe. It was North Miami Beach, the scene of this one, in a Walmart. And she, again, did 2 things. She was trying to get out of the store with stuff she didn't pay for, and then she was using counterfeit money to pay for other stuff. So she's seen on store surveillance placing several items inside a storage bin and pacing back and forth until she saw the opportunity to take off from the store with the items that she never paid for. Then she actually tried to pass these counterfeit bills off, and when stopped, the prevention officer, the store detective, we used to call him, the cop there, asked her to remove the jewelry from her wrist before taking her into custody, and then she shoved $200 worth of counterfeit bills into her mouth and attempted to eat them. Wow.
Eat the money and run.
Man, what a that's real commitment to the plan. I mean, to be fair,
It's a wild idea, but it just might work.
it is a strong choice. I will give her that.
Are you sure she had a plan?
I
Do you want to rethink that?
A Florida man, meantime, is arrested, and this happened in Walgreens for stabbing a woman. He said, why did he do it? Because I wanted to, is what he said.
Good a reason as any.
Yeah. Maybe you want to rethink the motivation. But a Florida man arrested again. This is in the parking lot outside of Walgreens. Stabbed her repeatedly with a knife because I wanted to, he said. He's 34 years old. Albert will show you his booking photo. And this is, I would say, a classic booking photo. It has a quality of, I just woke up. I never went to sleep.
What am I doing here? Why are you taking my picture?
I'm capable of anything. Again, his name is Kenneth Bryan. And he's charged with, all the stuff that you get charged with when you stab people. Battery with a deadly weapon, felonies and all the rest. They were called to the Walgreens on Airport Road South in response to this entire incident. Woman leaving Walgreens, walking to her car in the parking lot, total innocent. She noticed a man approaching her in her peripheral vision. She tried to speed up her gait. The way she was walking to the car wasn't fast enough, Kim. Unsuccessful. He grabbed her and started to stab her with a 5-inch knife. This is dark. You're right, Albert.
Yeah.
Twice in the back. She thought she was being punched at first. Later, she saw blood coming from one of the wounds. She was treated on the scene and declined to be treated at the hospital.
What can you tell us about the scene?
The lady's being treated there, Larry, and has declined to be treated at the hospital.
What can you tell us about the scene?
I asked him why he did that, and he said, because I wanted to. All right.
He needs some hair advice, some manscaping from that first guy.
Yeah, I think just
cloth hair.
Yeah, you're right. The first guy had
pomade, maybe some pomade, some hair gel.
Strong. Sounds like John Daly can give him a little bit of a makeover.
Yeah, the declining of the hospital is like a little weird, though. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. Why wouldn't you go to the hospital and get your wounds taken care of and make sure that there's no internal damage? In fact, the knife was broken into 2 pieces, it's noted here, and was recovered at the scene.
What can you tell us about the scene?
The scene has the scene of recovery, Larry.
Maybe she was committing her own crime.
Yeah. He's 34 years old. He had several prior arrests, charges for aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and battery dating back to 2014. So he's a repeat offender, and he is chilling at the Naples Jail Center. And finally, there is this. It happened at a Publix parking lot in Florida, North
back
Fort
to
Myers.
Publix. Here we go again.
A woman hurls cinder blocks at a guy after rear-ending him. She rear-ends him.
Wow. Aggressive.
That wasn't enough. She took the upper hand. She's hurling cinder blocks at a man. His car was hit by her. She rear-ended him. Patricia Momani, 54, arrested, charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and she was charged with hit and run.
Apparently she hadn't done enough damage.
Wow, she has quite the sparkly booking photo, I want to say.
She's done enough damage to her hair.
The bright blonde hair. Don't judge, John Daly.
Already,
don't judge.
Too late.
I'm a big one for the that bright blonde hair. In Florida, that's kind of a look.
Fabulous producer, John Daly.
Not with that skin tone. Sorry.
Oh, you feel it's just wrong for her look?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So what happened was a guy calls 911. Woman backed her car into his car in the parking lot. The woman later identified as this Momani, who you're seeing here. She fled the scene. Wow.
What can you tell us about the scene?
Momani fled it, Larry, I can tell you that. The man followed her while on the phone with the dispatch office. The pursuit led them to a residential area where they both got out of their cars. Momani grabbed 3 cinder blocks from a driveway and began to throw them at the guy. One of the cinder blocks hit the guy in the shin.
That'll leave a mark.
Shortly after that, the woman got back into her car in an attempt to flee the scene again. Wow.
What can you tell us about the scene?
The woman's attempting to flee it, Larry. And the man grabbed 2 cinder blocks and placed them under her front tires so she couldn't leave. Momani, though, did flee on foot and this is the high degree of difficulty move, she fled the scene in heels is the answer we were looking for. Yeah, that's very strong. The man told deputies he didn't know her, had no previous interactions with her. He was able to ID. There you see the cars. So they're nice cars.
Yeah.
You know? Looks like I don't know what that is, a Jaguar on the left maybe, and a Toyota, nice Toyota something on the right. The man was able to ID Momani from a 6-person photo lineup. Deputies caught her after learning a possible location she was residing at. And when deputies arrived at that address, they were met with a man who said Momani was inside the house sleeping. And the man said that Momani arrived at his residence appearing to be in distress, stated she was running from someone and needed a place to stay. That's the kind of, open door policy Florida has. If you're running from the cops, okay, come on, take a load off. She was extremely intoxicated, said the cops.
Shock.
And she was taken into custody. And that is where she is now. And she is awaiting bond. Let me review for you these stories. Some of them disturbing, some of them bizarre, some of them dark. And you have to vote on a favorite. I know you don't want to. It's like us. We don't want to pick a favorite, but we must. The bylaws of this show require that a favorite be delineated by each participant in Friday Fabulous Florida. Albert, what is the poll that's going on right now in the chat?
Yeah, I only had 4 options. Pest control exposer, truncator, woman tries to eat money, and woman hurls cinder blocks. Those are our options in the chat. Of course, feel free to write in your votes for the other stories.
Yes, please. And the chat's happening now. Please do.
Albert, thank you.
So you've got, let's just look in the chat before we get to it. Alcohol involved, says Sharon. Money eater, says Maud.
Yeah.
Least horrid
one. Cinder block blonde, says William Lundgren. Rabies needle strong, says Heather. Cinder block lady, those are heavy. Yeah, you got to give her points for hurling multiple cinder blocks.
This is not her first time.
The rabies needle, says John.
Was she in heels while she was hurling those cinder blocks?
She should be in those Florida Olympics that they have.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. John is right. And that should certainly be added to the Florida Olympics, which is that you have to run the course with heels on.
Yeah.
Pest control, says Ron. Crazy blonde lady. Cinder block, you can see a trunk gator. Is so Florida, says Michael Reich.
Yeah.
Michael Reich, you missed this yesterday, but he had a suggestion, John, about the fact that if somebody gets out of line too much in the chat, yellow card them. Very smart.
I watched the Mark Thompson show.
That was strong. I feel like Michael Reich could be like an Albert fill-in when he can't make it. That would be, he's got those kinds of ideas. Anyway, we have to now, among our crew, pick a favorite, but I'll just remind you, Zipper was broken as the Florida pest control guy who multiple times in women's homes comes out to give them an estimate for pest control and emerges at some point with his private parts
Strong
out.
hair.
Hair. Florida man pulled over with the live alligator in the hidden trunk, caught on camera the Florida man walking out of the Publix with 12 bottles of wine. Florida woman stabs the boyfriend in the eye with rabies needle because he looked at other women. The Florida woman attempting to eat counterfeit cash after being busted for the Walmart theft. The Florida man arrested for stabbing a woman in the Walgreens parking lot because, quote, I wanted to. The Florida woman hurling cinder blocks at the man and rear-ending him in the Publix parking lot. And then, of course, the chase that ensued. We must pick a favorite, and we'll start with you, Kim, please.
Kim, how are you?
I kind of want to pick the gator in the trunk, but I think this time I'm going to have to go with the rabies needles to the eyes.
That is
I know
strong.
it's dark, but it's very wild.
Yeah.
It's a wild idea. Did not work.
What about you, fabulous producer John Daly? What do you think?
Fabulous producer
I like
John
the
Daly.
cinder block, but we need to get her some toner for her bleach blonde bottle hair.
Yeah.
I think I have to go with Money Eater.
Yes, Money Eater, very strong. Albert, what was your choice?
Albert, thank you.
Very dark here, but I kind of like the woman with the rabies needle because Kim forgot to mention he was looking at other women. So
Yeah.
I think it is between rabies needle and eating the counterfeit cash. I mean, because we've never had anything like that.
Creative.
You know what I mean? That's
nothing in our history.
I did everything right, and they indicted
No, they've never been.
There's never been anything like
That's
this.
what I was looking for. No. There's never been anything like this. I'm going with the eating the cash.
Yeah, I don't like needles.
Yeah. But those two are very strong. Albert, thank you. That's Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.